All right, welcome back to the Michael K. Show. We are accompanying you from Phoenix, Arizona. It is the site of Super Bowl 49, Patriots against the Seahawks. And what an honor, Don.
Yeah.
Oh, stop.
We have Chris Russo here.
I ended up on the wrong show. Where's the other mic, for crying out loud?
I don't know.
I ended up on the wrong show.
It's unbelievable.
You guys are on Yes.
Yes.
How we doing?
That's right. This is your old haunting ground. Yeah.
God, I'm welcome back. Yes, here we are. Unbelievable. We were for 6 years. We do it.
That's
More
right.
longer.
Oh,
Anthony,
you
what,
owned
5
Yes.
years.
Yes.
And I'm with you two now.
Yeah,
it's
look at that.
unbelievable.
I can't believe it.
You wait long enough, everything comes back into style.
Nobody spots me over there, so what the heck? I come over here.
Now, you're here with SiriusXM. You have
Right.
your long-time show there. Are you stuck in having to talk about Deflategate? Is that the whole deal, Chris?
Yeah, a little bit. I went to the Patriot Media Day today. Nobody got involved in it at all. Obviously, Brady didn't discuss it. Belichick, we've moved on. And it was jammed. They had it at the U.S. Airways Arena,
Right.
and it was jammed.
And they usually have it at the stadium.
Yeah, why did they have it at Bank One Ballpark? I can see they didn't want to
That's a
go
good
over to
idea.
Glendale.
Yeah.
But why not at Bank One Ballpark? The Diamondbacks maybe didn't want them to have it. I was shocked. It was really crowded in that arena. It's a
Right.
good arena, but it was jammed. And obviously, Brady and Belichick were, basically, like sardines. You couldn't get in there, ask them anything, and not going to answer it anyway.
Right.
But yeah, I'm a little bored by Deflategate. To me, I think they cheated. I don't think it's a big deal in the big picture, but I do think they cheated. Belichick and Brady knows those balls were deflated. You know about the story about they took the balls into the bathroom. They took the 90 seconds. You heard about that?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
So, those balls, I'll tell you the statistics are interesting. Do you know the stats on this?
The fumbles?
Well, that's fascinating. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah.
The last 187 touches of plays that they run since 2007, they fumbled once out of 187 plays. The league average is 105.
Wow.
2 to 1.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Ball protection is taught that well. And the other thing is Ben Jarvis Ellis, 500 touches with the Pats, no fumbles. Goes to Cincinnati. The next 500 touches, 6 fumbles. So the people, they're oddities, but it is interesting.
But even if we don't get resolution to this, these are the kinds of conversations we're always going to have about the Patriots, the championships, the amazing statistics. Yep. There will be a lack of trust, and it is going to be in Belichick and now Brady's and even in the Patriots. The biography, it's in the first paragraph now. Cheating is right there.
It's a major problem. Drives Kraft crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know that. Yeah, no question about it. I was talking to Dan Shaughnessy, and he said, New England fans want to give them the benefit of the doubt, but the problem with them is they're priors, and the rest of the country doesn't trust them. You trust them? I don't trust them.
No, and it's funny. Robert Kraft, when he got off the plane yesterday, is saying, you got to apologize. And we talked about this earlier. The bottom line is it's your priors that make everybody judge. This isn't a court of law.
Absolutely right.
People are going to think what they're going to think. You have been busted on the Spygate thing.
And I'm also shocked that the NFL is going to wait 7 or 8 weeks here before they make a decision. Hold on now. Time out. All right, we knew that night that the balls were deflated. 7 weeks for Ted Wells and for Jeff Pash to tell us how the balls were deflated. It shouldn't take you 7 weeks.
And they haven't talked to Tom Brady yet.
Oh, come on. How many interviews do you want to do? Talk to Brady. It's ridiculous.
It's in their best interest to have this happen after the Super Bowl. Because if we found out today that Tom Brady gave the order or Belichick gave the order, you think they're prepared to discipline them for this game? They're not going to do that.
Well, what's more important, though, Don, the integrity of the game or the actual Super Bowl itself? You're going to play out the Super Bowls. They played 49 of them. Isn't the integrity of the game most important? How bad is it going to look? He walks out here with his 4th Super Bowl Sunday, and they could win. Definitely. Right. Walks out. And then, of course, on March 1st, they lose draft picks. He gets suspended 2 games for next year. People are going to say, why didn't you suspend him before the Super Bowl?
Well, I said yesterday, if they win this game and then it comes out that these guys are responsible, that Super Bowl will mean nothing.
They're dead.
Absolutely
nothing. They're in big trouble.
But also, when you talk about integrity, let's say they found out that Brady was involved and they wanted to suspend him. Would you want that championship if you're Seattle, if you beat the Patriots without Tom Brady?
That's a fair point. You can make that argument. I know the Patriots probably want the Seahawks want the Patriots to be whole.
Sure.
So there you go. It's a tricky situation all the way around. Bottom line is those balls are deflated. They were deflated by somebody in that Patriot staff, and Brady likes footballs a certain way. I don't think he looks at it every week, but they've known after working with Brady for 15 years, this is the way he likes his footballs. He made those comments in 2011. Gronkowski spiked the ball stronger because more air will come out of the ball. You had the Wilson guy on yesterday saying that he said
it was BS.
He said the Belichick deal on Saturday doesn't count. Hey, listen, if it smells like a rat, it's a rat, right? It quacks like a duck. How's it go? It quacks like a duck.
It's a duck.
Walks like a duck. It's a duck.
So that's what we're dealing with as far as the Patriots are concerned.
Now, when you saw the press conference, or heard the press conference from Robert Kraft yesterday.
Yeah, I didn't see it at the time.
But the sense that I got was, remember who hired you, Roger Goodell. Remember who you work for. That's what I got a sense of, him letting Roger Goodell, whatever you decide to do, let's not forget why you have a job.
Yeah, but there's 31 other owners that he has to answer to, too. And I think that a lot of people would like to see the Patriots go down if they did something wrong.
I agree. I mean, it goes. I didn't like the idea that Goodell went to Kraft's house for that party before the AFC.
Yeah, but you know what? I hear
That
what you're saying.
me.
But if your boss says, come to my house, you're going to his house.
Right.
You know what? It's a big party. Does he have to go to his house the day before the AFC Championship game? Does that look a little odd to you?
But if your boss asks you.
Maybe, but I mean, and how about Tagliabue killing him in
Yes, that
GQ
was
magazine?
very interesting.
Goodell's having
And that's
a rough
his
stretch.
guy.
Oh, I know. He loves him.
Yeah.
I mean, he loves Goodell. He wanted Goodell to get that job in the worst way. It's been a rough 6 months for Roger Goodell.
Well, even going back, he actually took a lot of the Bounty Gate punishments away when Tagliabue oversaw.
Yeah.
I mean, so he has not been good on
And
this.
furthermore, you throw in the idea with the thing I don't like about Goodell. Why did he erase the tapes originally with Spygate?
Awful.
Why couldn't America see that?
Right.
We're paying customers. You support the sport. You talk about it every day. I do the same thing. We watch the games. I couldn't see I had to have the tapes erased. Why is that necessary?
Let's face it, up until Ray Rice, they believed that they were above the law, that no matter what controversy was created, the second they kicked off on Sunday, it was forgotten about. This year, it's been different because Ray Rice and Adrian Peterson overshadowed what I think has been an awful 2014
I
NFL
agree.
season.
It hasn't been great.
So
Especially
now
here in New York, it's been terrible.
now the controversies become bigger than the sport itself, and that's rare for the NFL. They've always been able to swallow up anything.
I agree. But there's still going to be 125 million people watching the game there on Sunday night. I'll tell you that.
All right, now, you do a national show on SiriusXM. I have never asked you this off the air. I mean, you were so immersed in New York sports, Chris.
Right.
Is it difficult or different to do a show where you have to talk about Nebraska football, too?
It's a little different.
Uh-huh.
But I think in a lot of ways it's fun.
Right.
Because I'm not required to do 9 hours on the Jets when they're losing. Or I don't have to break down, why Terry Collins pinch hit in the 8th inning of a 2-2 game in August.
Right.
So from that standpoint, you have a lot more leeway to maneuver with what you want to maneuver with, and there's enough big topics that you can get involved. And there's a way to do it where you can still incorporate your hometown, in this case New York, and still make sure that somebody in Kansas City is not bored stiff with it. There is a way to do it. Now listen, if you're a New Yorker and you want to listen, you're not going to get Yankees and Mets 24/7. Jets, Giants, 24/7. We're not going to break down a Jet game when they're 2-11. You guys will do that. We're not going to do that. So you look, but it's still, there's enough there. There's enough going on where you can basically try to placate both audiences.
Now, do you miss the New York aspect of it?
Oh, absolutely. You definitely do. You missed, you missed give and take.
Right.
I missed the give and take with Mike. You guys have each other, been together now. How many years you guys been together? 10 years?
12 years.
12 years?
Since 2002.
All right, 12 years.
Yeah.
So you all of a sudden, if I took one of you away and you were doing it by yourself every day, you're going to miss that give and take. That's all there is to it. You can have all the calls you want, and you miss that give and take to throw it at somebody. So it's more of a responsibility to do it on your own. But I mean, by the same token, you have the creativity to do exactly what you want.
Right.
And that is and nobody tells you, Mike, you're doing too much Jets today. Mike, let's do Yankees. Don, let's do all the hockey today. You have the
Well, it's called Mad Dog Radio, so I mean, you're kind of the boss.
But no, remember, I'm not running anymore.
Okay.
I'm just doing the shows. I mean, they call it the same, but they run it from. I don't. But nobody calls me at 4:05. Why is he doing tennis?
Right.
Or why is he breaking down, the College World Series? I would not do that, but you get the idea. So you don't have that person who's overlooking you daily, who's critiquing your work. So that gives you a lot of freedom. You do anything
usually,
you want.
and in this business, you usually hate the pinhead that does that.
Right, I'm sure you have a guy, there's somebody at ESPN looking over you every 5 minutes to make sure, not every 5 minutes, but at least
3.
monitoring what's going on to
Of
make
course.
sure.
I mean, that's their job.
I don't have that.
Right.
That's a big advantage.
Now, everybody that listened to you when you were in New York exclusively knows how much you love the San Francisco Giants. And since you left, they've won 3 out of 5. Is it the same deal for you?
No, it's not. I have to be
lost
honest.
the love?
First one was phenomenal. Second one I loved in the postseason. This one I didn't do that much.
How come?
I don't know. I wish I had the answer. The chase was important to me more so than winning.
It's like dating.
Now, like dating. There's a little something to that. Now, listen, I don't tell the Giants that, but the audience knows. But I don't make it my business to tell Bochy that. It comes on all the time. Or tell, I'm trying to think who else would come on from the Giants. Sabian comes on. Or Larry Bear comes and brings the trophy. So I don't tell the Giants necessarily that. But yes, the juice is not there as much as it used to be. And I was shocked they won this year. I saw you right after that at the Pelly thing at the Make-A-Wish. You had to be shocked. I mean, Bumgarner carried him.
It's rare that in baseball one guy could win.
It was Kovacs.
Yeah.
I mean, and he came in Game 7, and they never thought he was going to go 5 innings. He went 5 innings, and I mean, the Giants won a World Series where Lincecum didn't pitch. Peavy was awful. Hudson was terrible. I mean, I had Blanco and Robert Perez, and you think about the Giant team for a second. And
Bochy's special.
Bochy's a great manager.
Yeah.
And Buster did nothing behind the plate.
Right.
He didn't hit.
Yep.
And they lost Sandoval. Sandoval, he's going to help the Red Sox.
Yeah, he will.
Because I don't think he's going to be intimidated by that surroundings. He uses the whole field. He hit a lot of balls.
Are you surprised, though, he left? Because it wasn't that much more money. I thought he loved San Francisco.
I think he left because he was annoyed that last March the Giants only offered him $40 million.
That's why John Lester left.
And he left because, same thing.
Yeah.
He left because of that. And remember, 4 months earlier, they gave Pence $90 million. So he says, hold on now, time out. He gets 90 and I'm only offering 40. I think he had a big memory. I think that bothered him, and I think that's why I bailed out.
The weight's an issue.
Don't know that, but
the weight's an issue, and that obviously as you get older is going to be a problem. However, and sometimes it's tough to pay for this because there's no guarantee you make the postseason, but we're talking about one of the great postseason players in the history of the game.
I
mean, you look at his numbers.
And he's a better fielder than you think, too.
Yeah, he was outstanding this year.
He's a better defensive fielder.
But as somebody who grew up with my dad saying, baseball's not the way it was when I was a kid, to see Madison Bumgarner do that was old school stuff.
He pitched 267 innings this year. And look at him, he shut out the Pirates. The one mistake he made in the postseason, he threw a ball away against the Nationals.
Right.
And by the way, and I love Williams. He comes, I don't get him on, but I like Matt Williams. Let's be fair. The Giants got the break of all time. He's a young manager. Mm-hmm. He had trouble in that National Series. He took Zimmerman.
Oh, my goodness.
Zimmerman out in the ninth inning. And then in Game 4, he had all sorts of crazy relievers in there in Game 4, and that close game in Game 4. Remember that Game 4?
Mm-hmm.
So the Giants, you got to get a break. They weren't a great team this year, but they got a couple breaks.
All right, we're here with Chris Mad Dog Russo having a great time. So you got to get your New York chops in. Just a couple of quick hits. Rex leaving. What do you think?
I think Rex is a good coach. I think it was probably time that he had to go, but I think he'd do a good job for Buffalo.
All right, the Knicks being as bad as they are.
They should never have signed Carmelo. They should have saved that $128 or $24 million and regroup entirely. Carmelo now, he should have gone to Chicago. Phil will do a good job. I have confidence in him, but I did not like re-signing Carmelo Anthony.
You think the Mets are close?
Closer.
Right.
I think the Mets, that division is going to be better than you think because the Nationals are going to be good now. They're not going to trade Jordan Zimmerman.
Right.
And you have the Marlins who are going to be, they got a little bullseye in their back, but the Marlins will be pretty good. The Braves are going to stink. So the Mets will be an 85. I know they're putting pressure on themselves.
And the Phillies will stink.
And the Phillies are bad. And they hate, I guess Sandberg's got an issue. 85 wins for the Mets, over, under.
I could see that. I think they can make the wild card if they add one more bat. If they add a shortstop that can hit.
And they're not going to get a shortstop.
Right.
Well, Flores can hit. We're going to find out if he can hit for 150
games. But it's bad, though, that you have an up the middle with a team that is built on pitching that they're really bad defensively.
Is Harvey going to be ready to go opening day?
That's a big...
But he'll be there for the majority of the season. With Kadire, all you're asking is 6 more wins than last year. I would think with Harvey and Kadire, they can do that.
And those wins are... you would think so. I think the Mets will be pretty decent. I mean, I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs, but Wright's got to bounce back.
Right.
Will they have people going to their ball? Have they sold tickets this offseason?
I've heard they sold more tickets. Don has season tickets there. He actually pays to go, Chris.
Well, you know what it is?
He pays to go.
I'm going to tell you what happened. Because my wife loves the San Francisco Giants.
Oh, does she really?
So so she gets the home. She gets the games that come to Citi Field.
That one series a year, 3 or 4 games.
And then Josh, our ticket agent, said she'd move her up from the 11th row behind the Giants dugout to the 3rd row if we bought 10 other games.
So you got a deal on that.
So she hands me the schedule. So pick the games you want to go to.
But how about this, Chris? When Don and Nancy went, Josh, they're so desperate to lock in people. Josh sat next to them during the game,
my God,
trying to sell more tickets.
Right.
Did you see what the Brewers have done?
No.
Yes.
Oh, it's
the golden ticket.
The timeless ticket. You buy one ticket for $1,000.
Go to any
and
game.
You can use it anytime you want in the next 30 years. Game 7, you call up, you get the ticket.
That's a good idea.
And when you use the ticket, you can buy 3 other tickets for that game at face value.
That's a great idea.
So in other words, if they make the Game 7 of the World Series and you want to go, you call up, you can buy 3 more at face value. So that enables you to buy 3 extra tickets. So you take your 3 buddies. That is a tremendous idea.
Great idea.
Now you got to put $1,000 up. You got to put $1,000
but
up.
That, still.
But you have that one ticket for any game you want. You pick the game. You want to go opening day at Game 5 or whatever you want. You give them. I guess you got to give them a little notice, and you'll be able to go to that game.
All right, now Chris, you're on ESPN and also simulcast around the world on Yes. So this, you know who you're talking to.
Sure
what do you think about the Yankees? Look right into the camera.
The Yankees are going to go into this year with an opportunity to be under the radar. Nobody's going to think that much about him. You got to figure that Beltran's going to be better. McCann to be a little more organized. Teixeira, can he hit 25 home runs?
That's a big question.
Well, let's say he can.
Right.
I mean, that's 3. A-Rod, Headley will be okay. And who knows? Forget A-Rod. Let's leave A-Rod aside. You never know what you're going to get out of A-Rod. So the question is, Tanaka's elbow, Tommy John, and CC, can he win the 13, 14 games?
Right.
Can he do that?
They could either do really well or do really poorly.
And Miller or Betances, who's closing?
I would say Betances.
We'll close.
Because I think he could pitch more often.
Yeah, he probably can. Miller's good. Miller's great, though.
Oh, I thought it was a great signing.
He's better than Robertson.
Yeah, I think so, too.
He's great.
Yeah.
I love it.
And he's really kind of burst upon the scene the last 2 years.
Yeah, and that division is still not great. Red Sox, I
think it's the Red Sox and the Yankees.
Well, the Red Sox have no pitching.
I agree.
And you know,
and Toronto's
no,
pitching
they get
is question
Shields.
marks.
They get Shields. Toronto may get Shields, supposedly, right?
Right.
They get Shields. Still not great enough.
I'm not in love with Shields.
I'm not either, but I mean, he will give him 200 innings, and he can, win 15 games. Yankees will be a pretty decent team.
All right, so he said it on yes.
Yankees
so
will
that's
be good. Hey, how about that? All those years I killed the Yankees, now I love them.
Now, I don't know if I ever told you this. I started as a fan in '96, and a quick story. I'm training for my first shift, and in comes Chris Russo.
And you're nervous.
Is this a Saturday morning?
No. This was during the week.
Okay.
I think Wimbledon was going on because I was training.
Oh, really?
And you idolizing Russo.
And this is Chris
Nadal
Russo.
lost last night, by the way, speaking
I
of
know.
tennis. Go
I
ahead.
mean, this is Chris Russo, and I'm
Right.
sitting there, and I'm typing up my fake update, so I'm going to train. And you come in, and you say, I'm watching a Wimbledon, leave me alone, and you bought everybody lunch, and I'm intimidated. Like, he must not be talking about me.
Saturday afternoon,
He's like, Don
Thursday.
LaGreca, you get lunch. And Spitz is like, I've got to order lunch for a guy training. He's like, yeah, you get LaGreca some lunch. And I'm thinking, you were so nice to me.
I'm sorry.
You were the nicest person. Seriously, the whole time.
I
You
appreciate that.
remember my name.
Did I? And your brother's a good man, too.
Yeah, he loves you.
His brother's
But
a good
you
man.
know,
Doesn't know he's on
as
the
a young
NFL.
kid breaking into the business, this was a guy that
How
was
about
my
that?
being
That's
so
nice to
nice
hear
to
that.
me.
People remember that
I was,
stuff.
I was really
People
special.
remember
It
that.
made me feel
appreciate
good.
that.
Thank you.
Now, I'm interested in his schedule, okay? How does he do this with 100? Are you doing 145 Yankee games?
125.
125. How do you figure out games that you want off? What do you do? I mean, you
The
take
longer trip I try to take off.
Well, how about you go to every city once at least?
No, because I
you
usually
may not
miss
go
the
to
West Coast.
So you don't go to the West Coast.
Right.
So you won't do A's, Angels, or Seattle.
Right. Unless Flip says, okay, these teams are going to be really good, I'd like you to go, and then I go.
Why
And
don't
he's
you,
the boss.
Well, if you got to go to Tampa 3 times, why don't you only go to Tampa once in the course of
I
the
don't
year?
go to Tampa. That's one of the things I miss.
Flaherty goes to Tampa all the time.
So does Kenny, because Kenny has a house there, too.
Okay, and Kenny goes to the Oriole games.
Yes.
So the trips, the games that you will miss with the West Coast for the most part.
West Coast, maybe Kansas City, but this year I'll have to go to Kansas City because
they're
they're
pretty good.
Right.
So part of this is aligned how good the team is going
Absolutely.
to be. I thought this would be more set up since it's a multiple trip visit.
Right.
Maybe you wouldn't go to the multiple trip visits.
You mean multiple city?
Multiple. I mean, if you go to Baltimore, 3 times a year, why go to Baltimore all 3 times? Go to Oakland one time and miss Baltimore a couple times.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'm old, Chris. I don't like the West Coast flight.
You don't. Seriously.
Now,
Yeah, I
now
really
think
don't.
about
Seattle's
this.
good. You got Cano.
It's great.
Angels are always
Yeah, but
feisty.
Seattle's on the moon. It's a 7-hour flight.
It's
Now,
a
he
little-
doesn't want to do that. Now,
I'm into
now
that.
think about this. A couple of years ago, he's got scheduled days off. Think about how he was sweating as Jeter's getting close to 3,000 hits. Ken Singleton might have been the guy that makes that call.
I missed A-Rod's 500th because of that.
So you write
Before
your
the-
schedule before the year.
And it's approved by John Filippelli.
So you cannot change that in a month.
They could change it. If he, I mean, I always work every game in September.
Oh, with an explanation point. It's one of the great calls of all time.
Thank
you.
With an explanation point.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was a
all right. Now let me
fantastic
ask you,
call.
because you're a big fan of sports. What do I do when A-Rod hits his 660th? What do I say?
Low key it.
With an
key it.
asterisk? History with an
The
asterisk?
Yankees having all this issue. Well, they owe him $6 million.
$6 million when he gets
for 661, or is it 660?
660 and then 714 and then 755 and then the record
Yeah, but
breaker.
661 is the one he breaks Mays. It's a tie. They pay
It's a
him.
tie. I think they pay him.
So they gave him $6 million. They're going to take him to court on that, right?
I don't know. They haven't said anything.
They might be
publicly.
able to get out of it, though. Because remember, the value of giving him that $6 million is the hype of tying Willie Mays. That's gone now.
That's what I mean. So they should be able to win that. They should not give him the $6 million. And A-Rod should not take the $6 million.
Well,
either.
then there was a story today, and I think it was in the Post where somebody close to A-Rod said he was fighting it. He signed it, and it's a deal.
Oh, come on, A-Rod, use your noodle. I mean, my God.
When has he ever
don't
done
fight that? Yeah, never. Don't fight that. Be careful on that one.
Yeah.
Don't go crazy on that
You
call.
can't. I mean, you can't. All kidding aside, how can you? It's a tainted farm.
Wins the game. You can maybe juice it up a bit, but if
Right.
it's a homer in the 5th inning against the Twins, take it easy. Don't go crazy.
All right, what do you do for fun in Phoenix? I mean, I know you're a lone wolf out here.
I went to I'm not staying at this Sheraton over here.
Right.
I went to the Biltmore, so I went to.
Oh.
So that was good.
big money at XM.
What have I done here?
We're in a Motel 6.
I tell you, we got to get into that. Can we get into that?
We can get in whatever you want.
I mean, can they put you in a? Well, can they put you in a little better place?
We're not that important, Chris.
Oh, come on!
No,
You're the voice of the Yankees.
No, I'm rooming
You got
with
the
a rat.
hockey guy over here.
I'm rooming with a rat.
Oh, you don't have a roommate, do you?
A rat.
Oh, literally.
Oh, my
a little
God.
roommate.
But Don's got the right attitude. I'm in Phoenix. How bad can it be? We're in Phoenix.
Yeah, I'm not complaining. I love
You're
my
okay.
life.
Yeah, I need 3 to 5. I'll tell you, I get a big break this week because I have no television.
Right.
The MLB, so all I'm doing is 1 to 5.
That's right. You do a good job on the MLB Network.
don't
That's
have
a very
that.
popular show.
You know, people love that.
They
little
really
thing.
do, and the people at MLB like it.
Well, I mean, that's goofy. They like that. But I'm in a break. I don't have to do that this week. I got off. So it's just the radio, so I don't have to do the one. That's not easy. 60 minutes, middle of January with that baseball. That's hard.
Oh, I bet.
I mean, you got to create something.
That's when
day.
I get a call, Don.
Yeah.
He's been on.
Really?
Oh, he's been on.
Yeah.
He's great on there. And we talk Yankee baseball. We have a fun time
Yeah.
on. And Susan came in studio.
Very
Did
cool.
I tell you that?
Yes. Very cool.
We don't know if we've had Sterling on. And Cashman.
Cashman came in studio?
No, he's been on 2 or 3 times.
Right.
And,
See, that's good, though. One question, and you're done with the interview.
And he was mad at me a couple years ago because I gave him a hard time in spring training
Right.
about the Yankee farm system.
Right.
So I had trouble reaching out to him. So
Oh.
Brian's forgiven me.
Cool.
So he's come on. That's done a good job. So that's been good. Some of these teams don't like you, so it's tricky, but they've done a pretty
Now,
good
you
job.
say you do the show at Sirius XM alone, and you do the show at MLB alone, too. Well, we have a large cast here. We have Russo, Don, me. Whenever you feel like dropping by and talking to people, you're always
Please.
welcome.
Got our pal Anthony over there. It's been forever.
That's
all you
right.
guys.
There you go.
3 to 7 here, right?
That's right. No, 1 to 5 here
1
at
to
West.
5. Okay, now, did you have to do all Jets all the time in the middle of when they were
No.
bad the second half of the year?
No, I mean-
Did Rex come on every Monday?
Yes, he
Every
did.
Monday.
Was he good?
Yes.
He was better this year than he was last year. I think last year he
It
was
was-
muzzled.
But it was still tough because you're asking the same
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
It wasn't even his fault
Like-
this year.
Did you get Woody on at the end?
We had Woody on, not when the press conference, but about 2 weeks before.
Oh, you did after
Yeah.
the season.
Yeah.
How about Isaac? Did you have him on? I know you had him on
During
after
the
the
bye.
rambling thing.
That was
During the
awful.
bye,
I
we
think
had
he
him
lost his job at the
I think
rambling thing.
maybe so.
But we also had on McCagnon and Bowles the day they signed him. McCagnon's impressive.
Yeah, I heard he was good.
Yeah.
Bowles good too.
Yeah,
Right?
very
Yeah, he
good.
was.
Very good.
Very good.
Yeah.
So you have a good. How about the Knicks? Do they help you out? I know there's been issues with.
You know what? You don't want to sit there and just crush a team every day. This is a year that they're bad. and I
Has
don't
Derek
think-
Fisher been on?
No. He hasn't
He has
done
not been on
anything.
No,
once.
when they hired him. That's
When they
not
hired
during
him,
the
that was
season.
How about
no.
Phil?
No, except the day
When
they hired him.
That's it.
That's
you only
it.
had him on one time
Yeah.
all year.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We're going to talk about Langston Galloway's
No,
two-year
but I mean,
contract?
still a little status report. I mean,
He
a
has
couple
spoke to the
trades.
media.
All right, so listen, everybody at the Garden, Russo wants Jackson.
Yeah,
I
do
mean, I
it.
want to hear him. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't get him. I mean, that's the thing. It's hard for me to get the New York. I never get the New York people on the radio. It's
Really?
tricky, very hard. Now I get some good other people on. I'll tell you who's a great guy. You're going to be shocked by this.
Who?
He's coming over here today. LaRussa.
Yeah, he is. We've had him on. He's
Oh,
a good
very
guy.
good.
Tremendous
Yeah,
guy.
really smart, too.
Oh, I mean, a lot of people have a bad. He is the nicest guy in the world.
And he'll do a good job here, too.
He'll do a good
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
He will
he'll
do a
nice
very good
job
job
with that
here.
team. He's a good guy. So you learn to have these relationships with other people outside of New York. But I've lost my relationship and my connection with the New Yorkers.
Well,
I never get Terry. Never get Terry on.
Collins.
I never get Collins
Yeah.
on.
You ever get Girardi on?
Never get Joe
Alderson?
on. Once on TV.
Really?
And once, and Cashman's been on 3 or 4 times on TV.
He's a stand-up comedian now, Sandy. He loves telling
He had a
jokes.
funny line.
What's
That
the funny
was
line?
funny.
Met fans didn't think it was
No,
funny.
that was funny. That was
He is funny, but I don't think Met fans...
You did not go to the baseball writers' dinner.
First time in 30 years. I'd rather spend the time with my kids.
I'm impressed by that.
Because I was leaving the next day, so I didn't go.
And that was Buck. And Buck got Buck Showalter got the manager of the year.
Manager of
And you were
the
going
year.
to.
And he deserved it, yeah.
And they gave Selig 2 5-minute standing ovations, right?
Really?
And before and after, I heard. That's what somebody
I
told me.
like Bud.
I do too.
Yeah, we had Manfred on yesterday.
And he will be good. He'll do a good job.
Yeah, you
Did
see, it's a
enjoy
fresh
Manfred
voice.
yesterday?
Yeah, very
Yeah.
good.
Was
Outstanding.
he good? He knows he's savvy. He knows how.
Yeah, he knows.
And he gave good answers, and he is savvy, and we made him laugh right. I said, now, you wake up in the morning, you're the commissioner, you walk past the mirror, and you wink, and you could hear him spit. He was laughing so hard.
He
Yeah.
was a good athlete.
Yeah.
He was a big candidate. He's a very good golfer.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
I didn't know
Oh,
that.
he's very he's
Really?
competitive.
Now, you love to golf, right?
Yeah, I'm not.
Don and I
he's,
don't golf
and he's
at
a
all.
good tennis player.
Right.
You know, Manfred was a college tennis player. Did you know that?
No.
Very good. Lemoyne. I think it was Lemoyne. Excellent. He's a very good athlete.
Now, you're a great tennis player.
Not great.
Great.
Decent. Good. Pretty good.
Really?
Pretty good, yeah.
Now, you golfing and tennising out here?
No, I did play golf on Sunday.
Now, how'd you do?
91. Not bad.
That's
Yeah,
not
that's not
bad.
I was okay with it.
There you go.
I've been playing pool.
See, I
Did you
don't
get the
make
hole
enough
in
money to golf
The
and play
clown's
tennis.
mouth?
Well, no, I didn't get the. I love you.
Anyway, we could sit here for the whole
best.
show and talking
Love
to
it.
Chris. Thank you, man. That was so
Good
cool.
to see you, Mike.
That's Chris Mad Dog Russo. We got so
Always a
much
pleasure.
more
We love
coming from Phoenix right
Yes!
here on the Yes
Only on
Network
Yes.
and
Only
on
on Yes.
ESPN New York 98.7 FM.